Okay, introduce yourself.
Okay, yeah, so my name is Vidya and I live in Bangalore. So I had experience. So I first started my career in TCS, and then so I used to work with Taj Group of Hotels, and I just took a career break due to personal reasons, and then I worked in a company called Super Bottom. So I worked there for almost, so even in TCS I worked for like 4.5 years, and even now with Super Bottoms I was there for 4.5 years. And just very recently, which is just one day before that was my last day, which is Jan 31st was my last day with this company. I quit just to, move on with my current career, the change in role, whatever I'm looking for. So to just balance, I mean, I was finding a bit difficult to balance both. So I just thought, okay, let me just take a break and move on with the testing. And then, yeah, that's it. That's about it. So I
Hmm.
can say overall, I have like 10 plus years of experience in the other field, of course.
Hmm.
And yeah.
Okay. So what is the software development life cycle?
Okay, so software development lifecycle, which is in short called as SDLC. So it is basically the step-by-step procedure to develop the new software, and we also have lots of stages, as in the 7 stages in software development lifecycle. Starting with the requirement collection, where BA collects the requirements from the customer, and then moving on to the second stage is a feasibility study. So feasibility study is that we just try to decide. We basically decide on, or we as in the QA lead or the developer, they decide on whether to take up the project or not. If we take up the project, will it be a profit or loss to us? So all such discussions happen, and finally they come to a decision to go ahead or not. And the third, so if in case we are taking up the project, the third step would be the designing. So for designing, we involve architecture. So architecture comes into picture, and here comes the high level design, which is HLD, and low level design, which is LLD. High level design is that which shows the overview of the project, like how exactly it looks like, how the application looks like. And low level design is, it gives a detailed description of how each and every module or the feature looks like. And so once we are done with designing, then comes coding, which the developer gets involved in it, and developer does the coding part. And then comes the tester, as in the testing. So tester tests the application, and once the testing is done, then it's good to release the software. So once the software is released, then comes it's basically the installation or the release. So installation is that the field engineer, the site engineer, just goes to the customer's place, or there are like lots of options depending on each and every company, that either the tester, or sorry, the engineer, field engineer, goes to the customer's place and release the project, or just show how it works, or even it could happen vice versa, or we could even do it. So the release basically happens. And after the release comes the maintenance stage. So maintenance is that we have a particular service level agreement which is done with the company. It could be like 6 months, 12 years, sorry, 12 months, or say 18 months, 2 years. So it completely depends from company to company. So yeah, there is a service level agreement which has been taken for as per the maintenance. So these are all the overall stages which covers SDLC.
Okay. What will happen if a company does not follow SDLC?
Okay. So basically, if there is, if I mean, see, nothing can be done, as in the application will not be strong. The application, if none of the steps are followed, and if developer is not involved, tester is not involved, it's basically that there'll be lots of errors in the software, or the software could not be it could not be like delivered on the specific time if nothing is involved. So there might be lots of ups and downs using the software to the end user, as in the customer. So the customers might not be happy using such applications if in case all this is not followed properly.
Okay. What is difference between black box testing and white box testing?
Okay, so black box testing is that, as the name says, we will not be able to see the code. Okay, and when it comes to white box testing, the code is visible, and the developers do the coding and the white box testing, and black box testing is done by the testers. So the types of black box testing we have is the component testing, the integration, the system acceptance testing, and the white box testing. We have like unit testing, integration testing, etc. So I think, yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Can you explain about component testing, system and
Sure.
integration?
Yeah. So component testing is basically that where it's again a step-by-step procedure where each and every component is being tested. So like for example, to give you a scenario, let's say maybe if in case it's a username or a password, if in case we need to test, and we type the username for any application for that matter, if in case we are registering with let's say Amazon or any application, so that particular component or that particular feature of the username, it shows how many like if it's a first name to be accepted, and if it is alphanumeric, so whatever it is, whatever is being given, so that particular we do all the positive scenarios as well here, wherein, okay, so in component testing, let me just give you like the types, so and then slowly I can just explain you. We do positive testing, we do negative testing, which is also called as both together combined, called as optimized testing. We also do over testing and under testing. In over testing, it's basically that any kind of scenarios, or I mean, as per the requirement, we test any kind of scenarios again and again. Okay, which is basically the over testing, and the under testing is that with as per the requirement, we do with less number of scenarios as per whatever is there. And the positive testing is we do testing here exactly as per the scenarios, and negative testing is we just test. We just test little like without looking into the requirements, basically. So that is what it is. And moving on to the example again, what I gave you here, we as I said, we do positive and negative. We just try testing in such a way that if in case the first name is given, and we test in all possible ways, if it is case sensitive or if it is alphanumeric in name, if in case negative testing, we just add on the numeric value also and see if it is accepting or not, or if it is only alphabetical thing, or if it is if there are any special characters which can be added. So all such things can be tested in component testing. Similarly, when it comes to password and everything. Yeah.
Okay. What is waterfall model?
Waterfall model. So this is actually, it's a basic and traditional model. It's otherwise called the basic and traditional model. So it's a step-by-step procedure where the requirements are freezed. Okay, so the requirement changes cannot be made here. So the projects we choose for waterfall model is wherever the project is very small, and the customer is sure on what exactly they want. So requirements cannot, since the requirement cannot be changed, the customer, it's always better if the customer is very sure what exactly they want. And yeah, so basically, I mean, that's about it. That's about the waterfall model. The major thing is that, after following all the SDLCs, we cannot go back to the requirement changes or any sort of changes which could happen. And the testers would pitch in, at the only at the testing stage. So the previous stages will not be tested. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, what is spiral model?
Okay, spiral model is that here again, it is almost similar to the waterfall model, but the major difference here it's basically like like the dependency on the models will actually come into. So every cycle here looks like a waterfall model itself. And here the actual, okay, for example, let's say the customer would ask for a particular product to be delivered at a particular time, maybe within 1 or 2 months. And it's highly impossible to deliver a product in such a short notice. So we actually, in that particular scenario, we go with spiral model, and we can inform the customer that each and every module, like each and every module can be released in phases or bits. Okay, and we can just say like first module, I can just deliver the first module in like 10 to 15 days, and the second module can be delivered in another 10 to 15 days. So it's also an advantage for the customer that they can start using the product. And yeah, so and this is one advantage for the customer. And also that here again, as I said, unlike waterfall model, here we will not be, once the stages of requirement collection, feasibility study, coding, designing, coding, testing is done, and then uh, after the release, and then if the customer wants to make changes, we can make changes in the second phase. Okay, but changes again, requirement changes cannot happen in the in between the process. Yeah, so.
Okay, what is test case design technique?
Okay, so test case design technique, it's basically that, we do like we have boundary value analysis and equivalence class partitioning here. We do this mainly because if we have larger larger range of values. So if there are larger range of, and also that, we get sort of unique bugs here, wherein if in case there are larger range of values, it's highly impossible for us to test everything at one go. So we choose boundary value analysis where we can split them into, like, say, for example, A plus and A plus and A minus. So value of if in case it's like 1 to 1,000, we just choose values wherein if you are choosing 5, we test 5 and the previous value and the next value of that. So it's like that is how the testing of the larger range of values is done when it comes to boundary value analysis. And in equivalence class partitioning, as the name says, we equally partition them into classes, and we just test the values accordingly. So that is how we follow the test case design techniques.
What is test case review process?
Okay, so test case review process is basically that after writing the test scenarios and test cases, we send it to the reviewer. We, as in the test engineer or the tester, will send it to the reviewer. So reviewer can be any person who is experienced or who has good knowledge about the entire process. And so first the test engineer would write the test scenarios and test cases, and then he will pass it on to the reviewer to review review that particular test scenarios and test cases. And after reviewing, if there are anything to be, so he will send it back to the tester, and the tester will fix the review comments. After fixing the review comments, it will, if in case there is, we'll again send it for, reviewing. And if in case it's all fine, if there is nothing much where the reviewer has to write the comments, it'll be like considered as fixed, and it'll move on to the QA lead and or the QA manager. Then the test case, then the test execution happens. If in case there is still something that it has to be fixed, then it'll again pass on to the test engineer, and the process just goes on. So yeah.
Okay, what is review ethics?
Okay, review ethics is something that reviewer can only review, as in he can only review the document and just write the comment. He'll not be able to fix the review comments or whatever he has given. He'll not be. I mean, the reviewer cannot fix it. So this is one. And in future, if in case the reviewer has reviewed the document and the tester has also accepted it, and after the software has been released, if there is any issue or any bug which has been raised, so the reviewer and the tester has to take complete complete charge of whatever has happened.
Mhm.
So yeah.
And a reviewer must not think that a tester is a junior tester or a senior tester while reviewing.
Yeah, right. Agree.
Mm. Okay. So what is agile model?
Agile. Okay, so agile is basically it's an iterative or incremental model, and so agile is a very nice model to adapt. So the main reason why company chooses agile is that the requirement changes can be made at any period of at any stage of SDLC. If in case there's any feature to be added, the feature can be added, the delete, once it is added, adding a feature, deleting a feature, and developing a feature, and fixing the bug. So all this can happen. And overall, what happens is we give the quality product or software to the customer. Okay, so the major principles or of the agile model is that, as said, the requirement changes can be made at any point of time, and the product will be, as in the software is going to be very strong. Um, um, I think, yeah. So that's actually a very major. That's a good advantage of using agile model, wherein basically that the requirement changes can be done at any point of time. And the drawbacks is that it's basically no documentation is followed, no test scenarios or test cases are written, no test plan document is done. So that is a major drawback of agile
And we
model.
don't need junior testers and junior developers.
Correct. Right. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What is story point and bug bucket?
Story point is that we base as in the tester and the developer, they just need to decide on how many days would they need for a particular as in a particular thing to be tested. So they just need to, and also as said, they just follow the Fibonacci series. So that much of time to be given by the developer and tester to develop that particular module or feature. So they ask for the time of this much time is what we needed. So that is a story point. And bug bucket is that we have in the bug bucket, we basically have all low priorities and low severity bugs. And they also all such bugs are added to it, and they, after a few sprints, they even they get to decide on from this bug bucket which one to be moved on to the next sprint, all that. So basically that all the low priority and low severity bugs are put into bug bucket.
Okay, what is sprint planning meeting and sprint retrospective meeting?
Sprint planning meeting is that to plan, what are all the wait, sorry. Okay, sprint retrospective is something that which is done by the Scrum Master with all the developers and everyone to just understand, to just discuss on how the entire this particular sprint, how did it all, how well it went, was there any difficulties, or what did go wrong, what can be done in the future to rectify all this. So all such discussions will happen in sprint retrospective meeting. In sprint planning, they just plan, if in case we are doing it for like 7 days or 15 days, it is planned in such a way that what all bugs to be, what all to be added and what all to be prioritized in this particular sprint. So what can be done in the current sprint to just, to give a good software. Yeah.
What can be done in the current sprint and what will be done in the upcoming sprints?
Upcoming sprints. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay. What is software testing lifecycle?
Software testing lifecycle, in short, it's called as SDLC. It's basically a step-by-step procedure to test the life cycle. So it is okay. The stages here are understanding the requirement, and after understanding, they start preparing the test plan, and they identify the possible scenarios, and they document the scenario. After documenting, it will be sent for reviewal. So reviewing of test scenarios, and once it is reviewed, fixing of review will happen. No, sorry. After it's reviewed, they will receive it and then fix it, and then they'll fix it. After it is fixed, then the test case. After they fix the review, what do they do next is they test case execution will happen. After execution, all the test cases will be stored in test case repository, and then the test case report they just take the test case report, and then defect tracking. After defect tracking comes the sprint retrospective meet.
Okay. What is defect life cycle?
I'm sorry?
What is defect life cycle?
Defect life cycle. Okay. So defect life cycle is that it's basically defect or bug life cycle. So bug is basically that when the actual and the expected behavior is not matching. Okay, so that is the bug. So here we actually start with we just open a case like new or open, and it has been assigned to the developer. So we'll just assign it, and after assigning it, it will be fixed. After fixing it, we do retesting, and then after retesting, we just close it if in case it is fixed. If it is not fixed, then we will reopen it, and then the process starts again. The cycle starts again. At times, there are chances that the developer, after assigning, instead of directly fixing it, he will just add on comments like duplicate or won't fix it, or issue not reproducible. Sorry. So duplicate is something that there was a bug, as in this bug was already there, already raised. So in such cases, if the same bug is raised again, it will be considered as duplicate. Won't fix it. So such comments will be added by the developer, because it could be considered the bug as in the feature as a bug. So the actual bug is not the, that's not the actual bug. So the developer will not be able to fix it. And issue not reproducible comes into picture when, the steps to reproduce are wrong, or the test data is not, it's the test data is not correct. Or it could also be that there could also be compatibility issues. There could also be, as in the test environment is different. So such reasons could be, these could be the reasons for issue not reproducible.
What is the difference between smoke and sanity testing?
Okay. Smoke testing is, it's basically, it's a basic and critical feature of an, we do the basic and critical feature of an application in smoke testing. And we do all positive, and we'll do positive scenarios here. And I think in Sanity we do, oh my God, I'm a bit confused here. I think in Sanity we do both positive and negative.
Yes, yes. Sanity,
Yeah,
positive, negative. Smoke's only
positive and
positive.
negative. Smoke is only positive. Okay, cool. And uh, what else?
Mm.
I'm not exactly getting it.
Okay, fine.
If you could just help me with, please, I'll try to remember.
Smoke we can automate. Sanity we can't automate.
Okay, right.
Mm.
Got it.
And what is the difference between functional and non-functional testing?
Okay, so functional testing, it's basically testing the functionality or the behavior of an application. And, examples would be like all the functional testing, like component, integration, system testing or acceptance testing, all that. And functional, I mean, in non-functional testing, we test the stability or the stability of an application or the usability of an application and all that. And non-functional testing could be like performance testing, scalability, load, stress, recovery, everything. And functional testing can be done both manually and automation. Non-functional testing, we have to use a tool which is called the jmeter or the load runner. So here the jmeter tool is used, based on the design number of users. Load runner is used, when the load increases, the response time also increases. So that is how the load runner tool is being used. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, mention two integration scenario of this Zoom application.
Integration scenario of Zoom
Mhm.
application. Okay, fine. Integration scenario as in, okay, let me just discuss what is here. I just want to chat with you. Okay, I click on chat and I just enter the text, whatever I have to enter, and you receive the text, and
Mm.
you'll be able to see. So it's basically that the data flow between two modules has been tested. So if I click on this chat module and I enter the text and the receiver is receiving it, so that's like it's working fine. So this is one scenario where I can say. And the other scenario could be, let's say, I just okay, I just looking into the reactions, I just click on reactions and I say, I just wave at you, I just say hi, and that reaction is being, as in you are able to view that reaction. And so it's basically that one, as in for whatever action I do, if there is a reaction, then yeah, that's again working fine. So
Mm. Okay, Vidya, thank you. You have answered many questions correctly. Somewhere I have put some additions,
okay,
modification. You can go through it, and you can still be better than this.
sure.
I think maybe yesterday's situation he has hampered to some extent today's vibe. That yesterday thing answer
I
I
know,
could understand.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Once
otherwise, huh,
otherwise everything is fine. If that would have not happened, this could have been even better.
seriously.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You do watch the mock videos and do practice various mock interviews
sure.
and give.
Sure, Ishan. This is one reason that I've quit my job completely, so that
Okay.
I can focus on this and I can do much better. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
surely do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ishan. Bye-bye.
Bye.